guys, welcome to Season 1, Episode 9 of the UK Cowboys TV show. Tonight I'm your host, Lauren, and I'm joined by the ever superb Mr. Brian Gaynor and Mr.
Good evening.
Hello, gents.
Evening all.
As you can see, both are suitably prepared. We've got Rich wearing his Zeke jersey, and Brian has his on display in the background. As I'm sure with the rest of Cowboys Nation, we're all suitably pumped after the news yesterday that Zeke has now signed his deal, and we've literally just finished watching the press conference about 30 minutes ago. So how do we feel, guys? Rich, we'll start with you because I know you were Zeke's biggest fan before we drafted him, so no better person to go with.
Beer and steak on Zeke, basically, is how it's going to go now. Prime rib for everyone. Like all day long. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. It's a bit of a longer term deal than everyone thought it was. Just in terms of the length, it's a bit longer. That's just an accounting move, really. Obviously, we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, pumped. Obviously, he's back in time for the game. Probably won't do a full workload, understandably. But I said it's done. He signed. We can all relax now, chill out a bit, start worrying about the next contract that's going to come up.
I mean, me and Brian, we were very close, weren't we, in our prediction of when the deal was going to get done. You know, just call us the gurus, the oracles, you know. But was there ever any doubt? Was there ever any doubt Jerry was going to get this deal done, Brian?
Absolutely not. Didn't doubt it for a second. Like I was entirely confident all summer that it would get done before the season. I was hoping it wouldn't be this close to the season, but I think, as Rich kind of said in one of the earlier episodes, look, he's not taking a full pre-season of battering on his body. So he went to Cabo, he worked out, he's shredded, he's ripped. Now it's just about maybe getting 20 touches on Saturday or Sunday and take it from there.
Yep. And as ever, the personality of the O-line has gone unannounced and without the glory that Zeke has. With Lyle Collins has also signed a new deal. Probably a bit more left field, that one. Perhaps one we weren't necessarily expecting to come in the mix with all the others. But happy, pleased?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the whole offensive line now is wrapped up until 2024.
Yeah.
It's like the next 5 years or something. So yeah, that's amazing. It's a position of need generally in the league as a whole, definitely on this team. So yeah, I mean, he's played good. Again, he's the guy that would have been a first round pick we got lucky on anyway, aside from circumstances outside of his control. So I think we've got lucky again, really, in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, super pumped. And it's a relatively team friendly deal. Like, it's not another sort of blockbusting Zeke type move. Like with Jalen Smith, a lot more team friendly. So yeah, that bodes well, especially considering a lot of the talent on this team generally is young. Big help for this team moving forward. Super pumped for that one. All round.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite interesting that we seem to have made our team younger, but just as experienced as before. When we seem to have a lot of old guys, so we had the experience, but not perhaps so much talent, but we've gotten younger and better and more experienced. It's quite something. You've probably got the numbers on the Collins deal, have you, Brian?
I do, yeah. Like, as I say, and echoing Rich's point on yourself, it was a bit left field. I didn't expect that we were going to retain Collins, especially with the move for bringing in Conor McGovern during the draft. But I mean, Collins he's taken the deal. It's reduced his cap hit this year by 5.7 million. 5th best paid right tackle in the business, which I'm very happy with. But over the course of the contract is going to be something like 50 million. So it's good. I think it's a good deal all around. And echoing the move from Jalen Smith, it's also team friendly. I think what we're seeing with these contract moves from everyone is they all can see something special is building. They want to make sure there's enough money available to keep everyone there. So obviously we've maybe 3 big contracts left to go, and hopefully there's enough money in the pot to make them all happen.
So, Rich, have you got the Zeke numbers for us on the contract?
No, I'm totally, completely unprepared. Of course I have. So it's a obviously 6-year extension, 90 million overall, with a little over 50 million guaranteed. So it's obviously just over half of that is guaranteed. So obviously overall, in terms of everything he's got, I think it works out about 8 years at something like 103, which all in all eclipses Gurley's. In terms of the breakdown of it, the actual guaranteed money, the money he will get in terms of actual guarantees is a lot less. I think it's something around like 25. I'm just scrolling, trying to find it now, and this is jumping around. I found a breakdown that was very, very nice on Cowboys Wire.
Didn't it put him down at like 5th or something over?
Yeah. I'm just looking through it now in terms of the actual. Yes, around the 25 mark. 28 million in true guarantees, which includes the 7.5 million signing bonus and an option bonus for 13 million in 2020. The first 2 seasons base salary is all guaranteed. There was a thing floating around this morning. There was some post going around from some website, I can't remember which one it was, that said there was a sneaky clause that was put into the contract to enable the Cowboys to get out of paying him guaranteed money if he basically gets into trouble. So if we have another sort of suspension or some sort of off the field issue, it's a lesser known fact, but that's actually standard. That's in nearly every NFL contract out there. As soon as a player gets suspended, any future guarantees from that point onwards are essentially void. They don't have to pay them. They can do, but they don't have to. And obviously, if he doesn't play, if he's suspended, he doesn't get paid for that game that he's suspended. He's suspended without pay. Also, in terms of every year's salaries guaranteed, the following year's salary is guaranteed only when he's on the Cowboys roster for the 5th day of that season. So, for example, if he's on the roster on the 5th day of the 2020 league year, his 2021 salary becomes guaranteed, and that leaps every year. So that gives them a little bit of room to get out of things if things do go awry. Obviously, touch wood, they won't. Hopefully, they won't. But given his history so far in coming in, I know it's only been 3 years, but the first year there were the obvious problems there, then following on to that, and then last year, and now we've had this. Hopefully, things simmer down now. But we need to wait and see. But that's nothing special. It's nothing that the Cowboys have put in specifically for that reason. That's pretty standard league-wide.
Yeah. I mean, there was all these posts, wasn't there, from, I would use fans, in quotation marks that were saying, trade him, cut him, people who have spent months and months, saying that the NFL were awful for suspending him, and are now then flipped it over and saying, oh, well, he got suspended, so we shouldn't pay him, we should cut him, we should trade him. Where are these fans at now? I think, is Ezekiel Elliott one of the best running backs in the NFL? Yes. Do the Cowboys need him to make that Super Bowl run? Yes. Yeah. Does he make this team better by being on it? Yes. Let's go. He's paid. Move on.
I understand people's situations, and Graham said about this when we recorded on Tuesday night. If he's very much in the camp of he signed up to a contract, he's agreed to play 2 more years, he should be there. What people need to understand is that not everyone thinks that way, and at the end of the day, this is not only is this business, but this is a business where people literally put their health and their physical well-being on the line for other people's entertainment, and there is a hell of a lot of money in it. And Zeke plays for the richest team in the world, not just in the NFL, the richest team in any sport in the entire world. So, and he plays running back. He needs to get his money now before he gets any more hours on the clock. So I understand it. Me personally, yes, I would ideally have liked to have left it another year. I get why people are pissed off. Completely understand, but I do think they need to temper it with a bit of realism. And as I said earlier, I'm not trying to be rude to anyone, but if people can sit behind this team for 3 years, see what Zeke does to this team, not just on the field, but off the field, how he energizes the team. People were saying a couple of days ago on the weekend, like it wasn't even the weekend, it was Monday, people were interviewing Lyle Collins and Zach Martin saying, what are we going to do, or what are you going to do without Zeke there if he doesn't play, in terms of energizing the team, because he energizes the team. After Dez is gone, Zeke is the one that's picked it up. He's just not crazy on the sideline like Dez was, going flipping out at the coaches. But he's still the one that hypes everyone up. And Zach Martin turned around and said, well, we've got to pick up the slack. There's no other excuse. But if people are going to sit 3 years behind this team, see the difference he makes just on the field, ignore all the other stuff, and then at the same time say, oh, well, I'm pissed off on that, just trade him. Or even worse, just cut him. You're a clown. Sorry, there's no other way for it, in my opinion. And my opinion is entirely my own, not of UK Cowboys, but you're a clown. If you want to trade away the best running back in the league after seeing that this is a run-first team and we are 28 or however many bloody 12 when Zeke plays, and you want to trade him, you're a moron. Just go. Or just, I don't want to talk to you about that specific thing because we're going to disagree. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about defense. But that's absolutely ridiculous.
What you just said about Zeke being like that energy of the team, that's exactly what Jerry was talking about in the press conference earlier today. He said, Zeke in the dressing room before the game, he is the guy. He's the hype machine. And, you rightly said it was similar with Dez. You need someone with that energy. You've got the great leadership skills in the likes of Witten, Dak, Jalen Smith, Sean Lee. You've got those, linchpin guys, stand-up guys. But you do, every kind of sport has that kind of crazy guy with the personality that does energize the team, and it energizes the fans, and then the fans pick up the team as well. So
and he's also a guy that leads by example as much as Tank as well. You've got people who are actual physical leaders. They have that leadership. They have the charisma, like Jason Witten, like Dak, like Byron Jones, like Jalen Smith. Then you have people who lead by example, like Tank, to a degree, by Zeke. But to a very big degree by Zeke. Sean Lee as well. Everyone followed him back in 2014 when it was, and I said this on Tuesday, when it was a no-name defense. Everyone got behind Sean Lee, and when he wasn't playing, there was a massive step down because they didn't have anyone to follow. There's a reason they call him the general, and there's a reason that 2014 defense, when it had pretty much the only name on it was Sean Lee, was still kicking ass all that year because they were hustling like crazy because he was following what Marinelli told him, and he kept on saying that to the other guys, and everyone fucking listened. Did what he said and did as he did. So Zeke is definitely one of those people as well. So I'm, like I said, if I offend anyone, that's not my intention. But if you think trading Zeke is a good idea, you're a clown. Sorry, or not sorry.
I mean, I always say to people, look at the Steelers and Le'Veon Bell. How much did they get for him?
Very little.
FA.
Yeah. So, the concept that you can just go out, it's not fantasy football. We're not playing Madden here.
Yeah, you're not going to go trade it to Joe down the street for 3 first-round picks next year and then a couple of twos a couple of years after and someone out like Saquon Barkley. That's not going to happen.
I did just do that to Joe today in a fantasy football league. But, we'll talk about that now.
Jordan got a fierce deal there.
Yes, savage.
So Jerry said in the presser, we're going to take this thing to the house with Zeke at running back.
Damn straight, quite literally.
Wasn't even possible without him, was it, Brian? Do you think? What was the prospects for this team?
No, it wasn't going to happen. I mean, you don't build an offensive line like ours with essentially four first-round picks on it. Because, I mean, I don't care what anyone says. Lyle Collins was a first-round talent.
Well, yeah, he would have been, yeah.
Yeah, and he would have gone. We wouldn't have got him if he went undrafted in 2015. So we have four first-round picks. We have a first-round running back. If that's not the epitome of a run-first team, I don't know what is. I mean, Tony Pollard, for what he will do in this season, I'm excited to see it. But he's not Ezekiel Elliott. He is not going to go through the gaps that Zach Martin is going to open up for him, that Travis Frederick's going to open up, that, hopefully Connor Williams, who has now bulked up and has become a big-ass man, he's going to open up gaps as well, and you can't just, as I think Rich said this a couple of episodes ago, you can't just put anyone behind that line. I mean, Darren McFadden, when he came in, had a 1,000-yard season, but he wasn't taking it to the house.
No.
That's your threat with Ezekiel Elliott. If he gets through the gap, he has the speed and he will take it to the house. And it's as simple as that. You know, if he gets to the secondary level, he's going to run over people and he's going to destroy them. If that's physically running over them or if that's hurdling them, I don't care what way it is. That's the threat you have with Ezekiel Elliott.
Well, we've closed the chapter on the Zeke deal, which has been rumbling on all summer. And I guess throughout how much longer are we going to be talking about Dak and Cooper's deals? Do you see any of them getting done over the summer? Over the season?
I'm going to be honest here. I think the next deal done will be Byron Jones.
Yeah. So you don't see him as potentially the odd man out in all of
yeah. Like looking at our defensive back room for next year, the only 4 players we've signed up are Cheeto, Jordan Lewis, who Christopher Shard doesn't seem to fancy that much, Xavier Woods and Donovan Wilson. So I think Jerry it was either Jerry or Stephen kind of said, you know, it might not be Dak, it might not be Amari who's next. So I think Byron's going to follow the lead of Jalen and Lyle. I think Byron is going to take a team-friendly deal, you know, and try again and help out the situation whereby we can keep Amari and we can keep Dak as well.
Yeah. I mean, would you be comfortable, Rich, going playing with Dak and Cooper just through the year without a deal sorted?
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, I think we've lost you,
Rich.
Rich.
Go out.
I can hear you.
No, I can't hear you, mate. Say something there now, Rich. We might be able to...
How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Better. Yeah.
You got you.
That's very strange. Yeah, I think there's something definitely wrong with my internet connection of mine, and that's why it was going all crazy before. And I'm getting like caution saying your internet connection is crap. Anyway, no, I'm not worried about them playing through the season without a deal because they were both.
He's the quarterback. He can't just hold out because if he doesn't rock up, nothing happens. And Amari's just laid back. He's the complete sort of polar opposite to Dez in terms of his ways, really.
And you see what's going on with Antonio Brown today over in.
I actually haven't what's happened. Go on.
He's had a falling out with Mike Mayock and is going to be suspended by the Raiders.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
So I think we got a bit of a bargain with old Amari.
I let him with AB, like going off on a tangent. I let AB off the hook. I don't hold him to account, but I was like, I let it go with the whole helmet bollocks because when I used to do stuff, if stuff doesn't fit right and you're trying to do something competitive and do something sport, it annoys the fuck out of you. And I'm really, really bad about being comfortable in doing things. So I can understand that, especially when your job is visually and seeing things. If it's blocking your field of vision, I get it. Stop being a clown, maybe. Just stop it. Just, fuck's sake, it's a brand new team. Don't piss people off. Like, it's not hard. Do what people tell you.
We should get you on the Raiders podcast. They must have one.
I'll do it. It's fine. I'll call him a clown all day. Don't care. I know he makes a hell of a lot more money than I ever will. Don't care. He's still acting like a child and a clown. He needs to sort himself out, like.
Well, speaking of clowns, let's move on to the New York Giants.
I was going to say where you go with this. I hope that's the segue you're making. That's amazing.
Well, they've kind of fallen off a cliff, haven't they? I mean, really, they're the New York version of the Miami Dolphins at the moment.
That's a hot take.
Savage. Lauren was Savage. I mean,
they've got Barkley. They've got a bit of Saquon.
Who else have they got?
Get the jump on it. They got Oh, they got Zeke and what's his name? Tight end. Gone completely blank.
Oh, Engram.
Evan Engram.
Yeah.
Okay, they've got 2 players then.
I was like, okay, they got 2. Their quarterback's shown up a bit, but like the backup.
Which
Well,
one?
the backup has the one they just drafted, but he's going to be sitting on the fucking bench until such time as Eli pisses everyone else off enough. Missed the interception.
Their free agent signings were the linebacker Marcus Golden and wide receiver Golden Tate. Now, I'm glad we're not. Tate's suspended, isn't he, for this game?
Yeah, he's suspended for 4 or 6 games.
Yeah, so I'm fine with that because Tate's got a bit of history, especially against my man Lee. So
that is a concern. Tate is a concern when they got him. I was like, oh, for goodness sake, can we just get him out of the East? I don't want to face
Eagles, didn't he, last year against us?
I don't like him being in the East. He's one of those players that I'm just like, just get him out of the East. Someone take him, but I was like, yes, he's gone. He's gone to the Giants. Fuck.
Sean Jackson.
What kind of expectations do you think the Giants have this year? I mean, I know, Rich, you had a very interesting exchange with the UK Giants fans on Twitter last week.
Yeah, that was fun. If anyone wants to laugh, go and have a look at that because the Browns tried jumping in and they got suitably put down. The guy that was posting there, Mike and I met him at, his name's Andy. He's actually a really nice guy, apart from unfortunately being a Giants fan. It's kind of in the same thing as when you go, Brian will get this, when you go to a rugby match in like Six Nations and you sit next to someone and you have a really good time with them, you don't know them, you really enjoy them, they know not a lot about rugby. The only downside is that they're English.
Oh.
It's exactly the same thing.
Oh.
It's fine, Laura, because you don't go to the rugby. It's fine. So you're not.
Hey, I do. And I went to university in Twickenham.
Oh, who cares?
I do know that.
I had to throw that in there. But it's pretty much it's on the same sort of level. But exactly, yeah, he's a really nice guy. In fairness, we met him when we did that draft thing up in London.
Yeah.
I actually asked him today, "What's your gut feeling about this weekend's game? How do you think the Giants will fare?" First 2 words: blindly optimistic. That's genuinely his first 2 words: are blindly optimistic. I like the way we're set up, but can't deny we have injuries and suspensions. Feel we could do better, to be honest. 8-8 would be a step up for us. I feel the Cowboys are underestimating that we could bite them early on in the game, but if we do, then I still think you call it back and get the win anyway. So that's his opinion on it. Because he's an admin over in the Giants team, and to be honest, I think he's pretty on point. Yes, they've upgraded the offensive line to a degree. It's still not great. I still think this defense is going to have a lot of fun with them, and I think now that Kellen Moore's playbook is going to be for the first time actually let rip, I think the offensive side is going to have a lot of fun as well. I don't think this is going to be as much of a run-heavy team as it has been previously. It's been very much Zeke, pound. Especially with certain people coming through, certain wide receivers coming through. I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to jinx it, but they're going to be connecting this year, and there's going to be touchdowns and connections where there wasn't last year. Watch that space because everyone else is sleeping on him, and he is going to kick ass this year.
What about you, Brian? What would you predict? Okay, let's talk about NFC East predictions. How do you think things are going to end up at the end of this year?
It's very much a straight shootout between ourselves and that other team we won't care to mention from wherever they are. But
on this podcast, I won't do it again.
I think there's an absolute chasm between ourselves and them, and the Giants and the Redskins, and it's widening at a rapid rate. I think overall, I actually can see the Redskins finishing bottom this year, and that's a horrific thing to say considering how poor I think the Giants are going to be. The offensive line that the Redskins have, I fear for their lives for week 2. We're going up to RFK, and I fear for what is going to happen.
I mean, they've got the Eagles week 1, and then the Cowboys week 2, and they're signing guys off the street this week to play.
Yeah, I mean, any team with Eric Flowers on their offensive line. I mean, I think, and no disrespect when I say this, I think, Lauren, you would do a better job than Eric Flowers on
Yeah.
that offensive line. You know,
Just think how glad Tank must be that Eric Flowers has gone, but on the flip side of Tate is still in the NFC East, because he's like, you know what, he's not with the Giants anymore, but he's still in an NFC East. I can still throw this guy around with like the same two pass rush moves, just rotating back and forth, and completely own this guy all night long. Yes, let's have it. That's where I'm doubling my sack total this year, just on that one game or those two games. He's going for it in those games, I think.
Heck, let's even put Taco over there and let him get a few numbers.
Yes, good. Taco, go.
Yeah.
Sack, hold on, good point.
So we're going. I'm with you. I'm with Redskins, bottom of the division as well. Then presumably the Giants.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I don't get the pundits this year. I mean, everyone has been blindly optimistic and saying, you know, the Eagles are going to win the East. The Eagles are Super Bowl bound. I'm sorry, but this is a team with Carson Wentz at quarterback who hasn't finished the last two seasons, who hasn't finished his seasons in college football. I mean, this guy has a problem playing 16 games. They got lucky in 2017 that Nick Foles came in and did such a superb job for them. And, you know, he also came in December and got them back into the playoffs again and got them over the hump to win a playoff game. But I don't even know who their quarterback or who their replacement is. And if they're like, Wentz is not going to survive 16 games, and they're relying on someone who's untested, and they're trying to tell us that the Cowboys are a second best to this team. I don't believe it for a second.
No, I'm with you. I think it'll be close. I think it could be like 11-5 for us, 10-6 for them, maybe.
That
kind of thing.
The backup is, I believe, still is Josh McCown.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I completely agree with Brian. Basically.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
They got a QB1 that, like he said, he struggled to play 16 games.
At least we've heard of Josh McCown.
Yeah, at least we've heard of him. But yeah, we've heard of Josh McCown and what we know about Josh McCown.
Career backup Josh McCown.
Yeah, exactly, and there's a reason for that. But yeah, if your QB1 is struggling to play 16 games regularly, you're gonna have a bad time.
We should know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
We had our sort of like QB crazy luck moment. The Eagles had theirs and won a Super Bowl from it. Props to them.
Yeah.
I don't think lightning strikes in that way twice. I don't see it happening.
No.
Nick Foles had experience. He'd been a starter. I don't, specifically for that team.
No.
I don't see it happening. Not in that side of things. They're a very talented roster. Very talented roster. Outside of not to say he's not talented, but Wentz isn't, because he is. But yeah, he struggles to play 16 games. If he goes down, very serious snags, unless they've gotten out to a strong no-loss win start, which I don't think is going to happen. It's going to be a bit of a struggle for them. They could be potentially battling for third place, between second and third place, potentially. But regardless, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Cowboys fan, I do think the Cowboys smash them again this year. I think they win it outright off their own back. Travis Frederick is back. Zeke has obviously got his deal. Hopefully he'll continue to play as well as he would, which really there's no reason why he wouldn't. The defense has taken a massive step up. Jason Witten has come back for a very specific reason. The secondary is massively picking up, and this wide receiver core is looking very low-key, under the radar, deadly, outside of Amari Cooper. And we've now got Randall Cobb, and the amount I've seen Randall Cobb make plays, usually against us, you got to think if he does at least half of that, then that's a few games won right there, probably. So on the offensive side as well, not even counting defense winning games for us. So I think not everyone, I think a lot of people are, I think it's a bit of an injustice. lot of pundits out there saying it's the Eagles. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Cowboys, whether it's deliberate or not. Don't know. Might be. Some outfits, you know what some media are like. They do it deliberately to cause upset, get clicks and reviews. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Back to the Giants game then. Who are our ones to watch? Okay, let's start with the Giants. Who are we looking at in the Giants in offense and defense? Which players are standing out for you guys?
Go on, Brian.
There can only be one person on offense. It's the only one they have. It's Saquon Barkley. It really is. I mean, are we going to shut him down? I think we were the one team last year who managed to keep him relatively in check. I know obviously his first game was against us, and you know we kept him relatively quiet. But I mean, I don't think they have much on offense. I mean, I think the fact that their O-line is so poor, it's going to stop Eli having a good game. They don't have great receivers. I think it's Sterling Shepard is their one receiver now, and Evan Engram. They're not going to get much. So I don't know. If we shut down Barkley, I think it's done and dusted. Yeah.
Agreed, Rich? Anyone else you're looking at on offense?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, the only other person to really, not to give snide to anyone else, but the only proven person that other than him that we need to worry about is the tight end.
Yeah.
Evan Engram. I mean, obviously, Beckham's out there now. A lot of this is going to be relatively short to mid-range. Dunk and go. Obviously, the running game, they're going to try and keep it short, which really plays into this bend but don't break defense. That's Rod Marinelli all day. If you keep it in front of him all day, he's having a whale of a time. He's more than happy. Mm-hmm. So I think watching him, as long as they can keep tabs on him, whether it's putting people on him, and that is something that Brian will be very happy with, because that's his main man, his best buddy. Jeff Heath can do all day long, especially covering certain tight ends, especially in the East.
Yeah,
he's done very, very well. So if he can cover Evan Engram that way, then I think if they shut him down, then that's his only safety valve gone, because he hasn't got Odell Beckham anymore. He hasn't got that person that he always used to go. Let's get it to him and let's just throw it up and see what he does. Let him make a play. The only other real person that's proven is Evan Engram. So if they take him out, then it makes things a lot easier. Flip side, and if they can do both of those things, which there's no reason why they can't, it could be potentially quite bad day for the Giants. Obviously, you never sleep on an opponent, but Evan Engram,
the games previously have been pretty tight. So this will be the fourth time we've played them in the last 5 years. So in 2017, we won 19-3. So that was a bigger victory. The other two was 2016, we lost by a point, and 2015, we won by a point. So I think we'd all be disappointed if it was just a 1-point win, wouldn't we, this year?
I'd be quite happy because it wouldn't be twitchy bum time halfway through the night. But I'd be quite happy. I got a wedding on Saturday, so to drive all the way home after that, to then stay up late and watch a game, I'd be quite happy if it was just a straightforward, just nice, relaxing decimation of the Giants. I could give my brother some stick for saying, "Oh, the Giants are going to ruin you," blah 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 blah. I can give Andy some abuse as well. I can beat up anyone else on Twitter until about midnight-ish, and then I can go to bed, wake up relatively okay on Monday and be happy. I'll be totally fine with that, with a boring decimation. I'll be perfectly happy. 20 points, give it to me, and I can just sit back and just play it. Yeah, enjoying this.
What about their defense? Is there actually anyone that is going to be able to keep hold of our offense? I mean, who are we looking at on their defense? I mean, I wrote down Jabril Peppers just because I'm interested to see, he was part of the trade with Odell. Is he going to do anything? I don't.
Interesting to see how.
I mean, their defense is pretty dire when you look through the roster.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here, and the defensive line is that they're projected to start as B.J. Hill, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Dexter Lawrence. I think Dexter Lawrence was a very good pick.
Yeah.
He was underrated on that defensive line with Clemson last season, and I mean, it was going to be hard to get attention when you had Cleland Farrell there as well, but I think he's going to be a very good player for them. I think he's going to help stuff the run. But looking at their linebackers, apart from Alex Ogletree, they've nothing.
Yeah.
And then their secondary, Jabril Peppers, DeAndre Baker are probably the standouts. But I mean, it's very poor. It's very no name. And as we were talking about earlier in 2014, that our no-name defense behind Sean Lee, I mean, it is a relatively no-name defense behind Alex Ogletree. I just don't see how they're going to stop us.
Yeah.
It's potentially a very good first game for Travis Frederick because, like you said, there's virtually no one there. There's virtually no proven pass rushers there. Ultimately, apart from one guy they've traded for who's on the decline on the team he was previously. I mean, you'd expect some sort of rejuvenation, but if I had to choose a team to play first to help him get back into proper full swing NFL games, it would be the Giants. Right now, this would be my perfect pick to enable him to get back into the swing of it because he is relearning doing things to a degree. Only other person I think to really watch is cornerbacks. I can't think of his name now. I read it on Dallas Cowboys earlier when I was out covering Amari Cooper. Janoris Jenkins.
Yeah.
Like Brian Broader said there, a bit of a plug for him. It'd be interesting to see how he does. Generally, it's probably a good match for Amari because Jenkins tends to guess on routes a lot, depending on the initial read, and that's where Amari tends to burn people, and then he puts the afterburners on, and it's bye-bye. So that could potentially be fun to watch, just from him. Obviously, he's coming off of a bit of plantar fasciitis, but he had that even worse back when he was playing as a rookie with the Oakland Raiders. It was hurting when he was cut in. He played through that. I don't see it being a massive problem. But yeah, watch the other wide receivers. Watch Jason Witten. Watch Blake Jarwin. I think passing the ball this game could be a very, very big step up. I wouldn't be surprised if after this game, the passing yards are pretty damn good, if not phenomenal. Dak actually has a fair amount of touchdowns for a lot of different receivers, and everyone is saying afterwards, all the media and all the other teams are saying, oh, but it's the Giants. Look at their secondary. It's trash. There's no pass rush, blah, 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 which they're entirely right about. But I wouldn't be surprised.
What about for us then? Who are our offensive guys who are you looking out for this week?
Everyone.
Yeah, I mean, you want everyone on the board, don't you, really?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to want a piece of this pie.
I want to see... Ideally, if I had to pick one person that I really want to ball out, I know it sounds boring and it sounds like low-hanging fruit, but Dak, I want to see his footwork. I want to see improvement from him, his improved connection with the wide receivers. I want to see that step up. Everyone wants it this year. Everyone is kind of half expecting it this year with the work he's done in the off-season. I want to now actually see it, and I actually want to see that coupled with Kellen Moore's play style now, calling style now. I want to see that. I want to see Travis Frederick be okay and make it through the game. I want to see Jason Witten used fairly sparingly and see him get a touchdown because that will just be amazing and dishearten every other team in the league. And it's like, fuck, okay, yeah, he's actually okay after a year off. And I'm not saying his name because I don't want to jinx it again, but I want to see you-know-who get a touchdown and or a very long gain from Dak when, after all those things they nearly made last year, I want to see it happen this year, because then it's like, boom, this is happening. Get ready. This train is rolling.
That's actually, that name is the name I had written down for offense. It just seems that I just feel that this is the year. This is, but we're not going to say it. No, we're not going to jinx.
Please.
What about you, Brian? Who's your guy on offense?
For me, where I want to see is the tight end. I want to see what way we're going to use Blake Jarwin and what way we're going to use Jason Witten. Is Jason going to be taking 90% of the snaps, or is he coming back to be that red zone target that we so sorely missed last year? Like, Dak didn't have that go-to that he knew, if I put the ball up, this is going to be taken, and I think he developed that with Jarwin as the season went on. So I want to see what happens there. Do we go with 2 and 3 set tight ends, or is it going to be a case of Jarwin is there for first and second down, and then Jason comes in?
Yeah,
that's my guy. Again, I'm not going to mention the one we're all excited about.
Yeah. The main thing really isn't so much for me, and that's why I named lots of people, because it's not generally a person I want to see stuff from. I want to see stuff from the team in red zone, because that is where the issues were last year. Moving the ball, they were pretty okay. They were very okay, actually. They made a fair amount of red zone trips. They just didn't cash in. Now, you've got Jason Witten, you've got Blake Jarwin getting better. You traded for Randall Cobb, so you've upgraded there, and you've also upgraded, potentially, hopefully, at defensive coordinator. All for that.
Yeah. If I throw another name in there, a guy I'm interested to see, and I tipped it earlier, is Connor Williams.
Yeah.
I want to see how much he's bulked up and and how improved he has been. I mean, the fact he did keep Aaron Donald in check in the Rams game in the playoffs last year was a huge feather in his cap, and I just want to see how big the jump is now in his sophomore year. And how much further he progresses.
I mean, he looks like a different guy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, looks completely different player. You want to see him use the size he's got now, don't you? Ultimately. Yeah.
The fact he has Travis Frederick inside of him now is just going to be, and it's no disrespect to say, to Joe Looney either. I mean, Joe Looney did phenomenally well, but Travis Frederick is the best center in the league. We know, everyone knows it. And having Tyron Smith one side of him, Travis Frederick the other side of him, is just going to be, it's going to do so much for his confidence.
Yeah, definitely. And what about defense? Are you going straight for your Mr. GOAT?
No, I'm not. I'm actually where I'm interested to see is linebackers. So I think I might have stolen Rich's pick there.
I thought I was gonna have to go down A&E then. I was having like heart palpitations and everything.
Yeah, I think with Jalen having signed the new contract, the way himself and Leighton Van Der Esch talk about each other, I mean, I think get them the knitted sweaters and bromance is in check there. I just want to see how the two of them go with their second season, and teams are going to have had a chance to review them and try and break them down, and then I think the fact both of them can go sideline to sideline, I think they're the new generation of linebackers. They're not the inline, it's across the field is how they're going to play and how that works. And the fact that we've gotten some big fatties up the middle now with Tristan Hill, Antoine Woods and Malik Collins makes it a little bit easier for those guys. You're not getting guys who are going to come pounding down the centre to them.
Yeah. What about you, Rich? Who are you looking for on defense?
Actually, exactly the same. In all honesty, we've already identified that the only two real main weapons that we're worried about are Engram and Barkley. So obviously everything's going to be relatively shorter down the middle, and if you're going to be stopping that, then it's linebackers all day long. So they need to be doing exactly what they do. It's the strength of the team now. Everyone knows it. Everyone in the league pretty much says they are top 3, not top 2, if not the best. Nobody really wants to play them. They were both fairly well ranked in the top 100, however much how much weight you want to put into that, but it's from the players, so you get a genuine opinion. It needs to be heat-seeking missiles all night long. Hustle, get to them, stop them everywhere you can, and if it is, then that's going to be an absolute ball-out game because they ain't going to get anywhere. Eli is not that inventive. Neither is their offensive coordinator, and they are not tested enough with everyone else on that team to be able to go crazy unless they have a bit of a miracle. But even then, adapting to that, I don't think it's going to be a bit of a problem if that's all you've got to do. Outside of creating pressure with your front and your secondary playing well. I mean, if that's all you're going to do and they're not stretching the field, you can start bringing people up.
What I'd really love to see on Sunday is, the fact that, as you said, there's going to be so much pressure from the front seven pushing down onto Eli. and you're kind of hoping that it's going to be short dump offs to to Sterling Shepard, to Evan Engram, that he is going to have to air it out a little bit, and that the secondary get a couple of interceptions early doors this season. It's our biggest issue that we've had historically, is we're not getting interceptions. If we could get, say, 2, possibly 3 at the weekend, I think that'd be a great boost for the confidence of the secondary as a unit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like you said, if it's going up, if he's going up and he's throwing it up long to try and stretch it out, to force it out, because this is Eli Manning. This is what he does, is he throws interceptions at least once every time we play the motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's going to air it out. Someone's going to be there. If Xavier Woods or the like come away with it, I know it's him, but if they can come away with it, that's a good start to the season. That's a good confidence boost. It helps it transition from preseason to actual regular season. It gets the ball rolling.
I think one pretty safe bet is Anthony Brown's going to intercept him. I think he does it nearly every game.
Yeah. Easy money.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've, pretty much mauled the Giants to death. So if people listening aren't excited for Sunday's game, then, don't bother watching.
If you're not excited, come on Twitter beforehand and I'll get you excited for it. Trust me, because I know Andy Robinson from the Giants will be there and I will be giving him stick.
So yes, follow us on Twitter at UK Cowboys Fans. For some reason, people are on Twitter that don't know about the Facebook group that don't know about Twitter. But just follow us everywhere. We're just UK Cowboys Fans. The original. And Instagram as well. Very original UK Cowboys Fans. It's not that hard. Just copy and paste into all these things.
Follow us everywhere.
Like.
Yeah, follow us everywhere, just not in the street. That's it. That's the line, basically.
We probably have Bebo on MySpace as well, do we?
Is MySpace still a thing?
I will be back next week. Unfortunately for you poor people, will have a double dose of me next week, as Mike is on holiday with the Teletubbies. Just don't ask. And
I'm
hopefully.
On holidays.
Oh, and yes,
no one
Brian's
cares,
on
Brian.
holiday, not
no
with
one
the
cares.
Teletubbies, but with Mexico. So we'll be celebrating the Giants' victory with a Ken-style cigar, I expect.
Oh yes.
Top Fan Kev. It's not a show without a shout out for Top Fan Kev.
So we'll be back next week. So be sure to join us. Thank you again to my fellow co-hosts and superstars, Mr. Brian Gaynor and Mr. Richard Jones. Thank you, lads. And we'll catch you next week, guys. See you later.